Rico McGee, another episode of the Rulers Minute, man. This is Guest Appreciation Week, where I'm just inviting everybody that's ever supported the show or ever wanted to be a guest on the show to come back or come on for your first time. I got my man's Cam Crawford with me. He's been on the show before, and he has some really good takes, so I had to run it back one time. Had to spin the block, man. Cam, thank you for coming back, man.
Man, Rico, appreciate the invite, man. Always a blessing, man. Let's get to it, man.
Let's get to it, man. Always a blessing to have you on. So my first question, I know you saw the Cavaliers in the playoffs and the surprising firing of former Cavaliers head coach JB Bickerstaff, man. First thing I want to do is get your thoughts on that. How did you feel about JB Bickerstaff as a whole in his 4 years with the Cavaliers?
To be honest, Rico, I have a lot of respect for JB, man. To be able to come in here, when he took over the team, it was a dumpster fire, man. For him to be able to turn us around and get us back to where we belong in the playoffs, I have nothing but respect, man. But I just don't think JB was the guy to get us to that next level.
Okay. Now, why not? I mean, if you saw, I saw his progression first year, or he turned us around 2022, got us to the play-in tournament, probably would have made the playoffs that year without any injuries. Last year, got us to the first round of the playoffs. We lost to the Knicks at 5. Then this year, we had to scrap it out. We had to beat Orlando, and then made it to the second round of the playoffs. So it seemed like every year there was progress. How come you didn't feel like JB could get us to the next level?
One thing I've seen, Rico, you have to have the ability to make in-game adjustments, and I don't think he was able to do that on the fly. In pro
Okay.
sports, you got to be able to make in-game adjustments, or it's just not going to go your way. So that was one thing. And to be honest, Rico, I wouldn't have minded running it back with him again, to be honest. But I think the Cavs are trying to fast track it a little bit, to be honest. So we'll see if that works or if not.
Okay. Well, do you think that Donovan Mitchell is going to re-sign now, knowing that JB is gone, or do you think they're going to see, what coaches are out there that he's going to like? Because I think the whole point of them letting go of Bickerstaff was to, get Donovan Mitchell to re-sign, which I think he's going to do this offseason.
I agree with you on that, Rico. I think Mitchell will re-sign for sure. Another thing I really didn't care for Bickerstaff is I really noticed this a lot. We didn't really run any plays. I didn't really see him during time I was drawing up any plays or anything. So that was another thing I really didn't really care for.
Okay. And I guess a couple of names out there. The Golden State Warriors assistant head coach is one guy. I believe Atkinson, if they're not the same person, I believe Atkinson was another name. It just doesn't seem like there's a lot out there, letting Bickerstaff go. Who do you think the Cavaliers should sign as their next head coach?
You gonna laugh at me for this one. Stan Van Gundy, that's my dude, man.
I do like Stan Van Gundy.
Stan Van Gundy, man. I always was a fan of him, man. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Yeah, I think he's done with coaching, but I wouldn't mind seeing him come back. I wouldn't mind Jeff coming back for real, for real. I was a huge Jeff Van Gundy fan when he was with the Knicks. Like, I rock with Van Gundy.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Dallas winning the other night.
Yeah.
It's in their spot, which we all knew was going to happen. I didn't think that it would happen to the extent that they did. Beat the crap out of them, ran them off the floor. How do you feel about Kyrie Irving being back in the finals, despite, with all the things Kyrie has been through, with the way he was scrutinized by the media? How do you feel about Kyrie Irving getting back to the NBA finals?
I'm happy for Kyrie, man. So he can put that LeBron narrative, all that mess. He can shut all these haters up, man.
Definitely.
So I'm pumped, man. I think they're gonna win it all.
I think Dallas is gonna win it all too. I actually got Dallas winning in 6.
Oh, 6. Okay.
Yeah, I got Dallas. What you got them sweep? They're not gonna sweep Boston.
I had it going to 7 maybe, and to get Dallas to 7.
Okay.
But I can't see Boston winning this series though.
Yeah, I don't.
Tatum's too inconsistent, and Brown can't carry them all the way to the finish line.
That's a good. That's an interesting take there, my brother. That's an interesting take. I think they're gonna get two. I think really, man. I think they're trying to put a ring on Luca because they gave Nikolai a ring last year. They're trying to give Luca a ring this year. I'm just saying.
Hey, that's an interesting take too. You got a point. You got a point. I didn't look
Listen, I
at
think they're trying to get Luca a ring too. And
that
then whoever the next phenom from overseas, they're gonna like build him up and then get him a ring. That's just, and it may
way.
sound crazy, but that's really what I believe.
You got a point though, Rico. You got a point for sure.
Not like, and I'm not saying that that the hate on nobody because I think Dallas is going to win this series, and Dallas is one of those teams I've always loved Dirk Nowitzki. So when he finally got his ring, I was happy, and it was a bittersweet because LeBron at that time had just went to the Heat. You know what I'm trying to say.
A player that's underrated on Dallas that I've been watching heavily is Daniel Gafford. Man, he is a dog.
I like Daniel Gafford. You know who's been knocking the lights out low key? He's been dropping like a quiet 15, 20. Is it Derrick Jones?
Yeah, Derrick Jones Jr.
Knocking down threes from the corner.
Man,
I'm like,
he could jump out the gym, man.
Yeah. I'm about to say, like, yo, he is low key like the real heart and soul of this team is so many. Like I think that the role players are the ones who are really making it happen. Like you said, Gafford and Jones, just a solid, well coached team all together. I would love to see Dallas win it all, and I think they're gonna win it all.
Definitely.
Okay, now we're gonna make the switch to baseball. Yep. I'm a Guardians fan.
Yes, sir.
I've been covering the minor leagues. I've covered Akron Rubber Ducks. This was a special night. This was their logo. They had a special night.
That's pretty dope, man. I like.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And you know what's crazy? I only paid like $12. I thought this was gonna be like 40 or something. Yeah, I caught it at a discount out in Akron.
Oh, but, man.
Yeah. So I covered the Rubber Ducks, covered the Lake County Captains. Stephen Kwan was actually rehabbing with Lake County and got a couple of swings in, and that was really dope to see. But what do you think it is about the Guardians that they've just been dominating thus far all season?
So to be honest, what I think it is, Rico, I think that they felt like they let Tito down last year in his final year. So I feel like they're trying to kind of show off because of how they feel about last year, how they let him down. So you can go ahead, Rico. My bad.
Oh no, you good? No, I'm gonna be honest. I don't even think it was their fault. I think just a lot of injuries and they didn't have any legit closers.
Yeah,
that's really probably what hurt them last year. But I don't think it was their fault.
And then if management doesn't make all those trades and then gets rid of Josh Bell, I still think we make the playoffs last year.
Yeah, I agree. Like y'all, and the Guardians got a solid squad this year. I mean, I think really, the hitting has just been off the charts now.
Talk about David Fry, guys like that we didn't even know half of these dudes coming in the spring training, man, and these dudes are just knocking the lights out the ball, man. Gabriel Arias helping out as well, and we got guys contributing.
Yeah, definitely. So now they're in first place in the AL. Where do you think this team will finish heading into the postseason? And even though it's still early baseball, it's only the 1st of June. Where do you see the Guardians finishing?
To be honest, Rico, I know I may sound biased, but me looking at previous seasons of how when I see the Guardians get hot like this, I think we'll win the AL as long as everybody stays healthy. And I think we can make a deep playoff run as long as we stay healthy. Okay. I do want to see us go out at the trade deadline to get aggressive. I would like to get another pitcher in there, a starting pitcher, since Bieber's out. I don't know how long the bullpen is going to be able to hold up without, So I would like to just make a move at the deadline, bring in another starting pitcher or something like that,
Well, they got the first pick in the draft too.
Yeah.
So do you think they go for a pitcher in the draft, or do you go for a hitter?
I think they'll go for a pitcher since they did get Manzardo.
Yeah.
So I think they'll go pitcher this time. Try to beefing up that bullpen since the whole Bieber situation is still kind of fresh and we don't really know what's going to go happen in the future. So I think they'll draft a pitcher.
Okay, that's definitely, man, definitely. So I think the Guardians can definitely make a deep run too, provided everybody stay healthy. It's funny, man, because baseball is really just a game of momentum, just like basketball, low key, man. And baseball is like,
Especially playoff baseball for sure.
yeah, playoff baseball is a whole different animal. If you're
Oh,
not
yeah.
carrying that momentum into the postseason, most of the time it doesn't work out. Just ask the Atlanta Braves, my squad. Every time we bust ass in the regular season, we go and we lose to the damn Phillies, and I'm sick of it. But that's a whole nother story, man. We're gonna close out the show, man. On to football. This is a question that I've always wanted to ask you because you're a huge football fan.
Yes, sir.
Give me your Mount Rushmore of Cleveland Browns.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mount Rushmore of Cleveland Browns. That's tough. Okay. So first I'll go Jim Brown, of course.
Okay.
I'll go Joe Thomas.
Okay.
Let's see who else. Can I put a coach on there?
You can if you want to. That's cool.
I'll probably put Stefanski. I'm not gonna lie. I know I'll go Stefanski up there. You know, he's probably had the most success as a coach in Cleveland Browns history.
Okay.
In this decade.
Okay.
So I'll put Stefanski up there because I think I think he'll go down as a Browns legend for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see. I wanna put somebody up there from the past. I'm trying to think. I'll go Bernie.
Bernie Kosar.
Yeah.
Okay. That's solid, man. I'm gonna go. Of course, I'm gonna put Jim. Okay, aside from Jim Brown, because I think everybody will put Jim Brown up there. I'm gonna go Marty Schottenheimer. He was the Browns coach in the 80s. Led the Browns to 3 straight AFC title games. And even though they never got over the hump, he's still, to me, probably one of the greatest coaches in NFL history.
Rest in peace.
For the Browns, in Cleveland Browns history. I'm gonna go Marty Schottenheimer. I'm gonna go Joe Thomas. I want to say Eric Metcalf. Eric Metcalf is one of my favorite players for the Browns.
He was a dog.
And then, of course, I mean, I'm gonna say Menafield, the defensive back.
That's solid. That's definitely
Yeah. I'm just a fan of that 80s Brown squad. That's the squad my father told me about. So it's like I just love that 80s, those Cleveland Browns of the 80s, man. And they dominated the Steelers. They used to beat the hell out the Steelers. And that's always a good thing when you're a Cleveland fan. The only reason why I didn't, Jim Brown, of course, the main, of course, Jim Brown, Bernie Kosar. You could put Brian Sipe in there. Who else? Hell, Joe Hayden could make a case,
Let me switch my two out. Let me switch Jim Brown and Joe Thomas out because those are automatics.
Right.
So let me put I'm gonna go Hanford Dixon.
Ooh, yeah. He was on the other side. Hanford Dixon, man, I played corner. So actually I played DB. I played a little corner, but my main position was strong safety. So I love defense. I'm a huge defensive guy in football.
And then my Joe Thomas replacement, I'll go Doug Deacon.
Okay.
I'll go Doug Deacon.
Hey, that's a solid. Hey, listen, Browns fans, who is in your Mount Rushmore of Cleveland Browns? That's gonna be one of the topics. But definitely, man. How do you think the Browns are faring in OTAs? I mean, everybody talks about OTAs. I mean, what do you think Watson's going to do this year?
So, to be honest, Rico, I haven't really been paying attention to OTAs because most seasons when I kind of pay attention heavily on the off season and I start making expectations, usually the season doesn't go in my favor. So I started to take a page out of my dad's book. My dad goes into every game and every season with zero expectations. So I did that for the first time last year, Rico, and we had a great season. So I'm gonna continue to do that again this year.
Hey, listen, I much respect to your pops, man. Shout out to Kimrick, man. Listen, it's one of those things, man, where OTAs just don't mean nothing. Everybody, like, you listen to the media, wow, look at how far he threw the ball. Do you know how easy it is to throw a ball when you don't have a 6'5", 300-pound, all muscle defensive end coming at your neck?
And
It's
we're
easy to get the ball off how you want to get it off, pause. And don't talk to me about that. Talk to me about real game life situations. I want to see him do that in the regular season with the game on the line. And that goes for any quarterback. I don't care if it's for the Browns, Steelers, Ravens, Bank, whoever. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think Watson will have a bounce back season. I think he's gonna be healthy. I think he's tired of hearing all the chatter from everyone. I
Oh,
think he's
definitely. And to be honest with you, I don't think he was having a bad season last year. I mean,
no, sure.
He didn't have he didn't play well the second week of the season last year against the Steelers. But I mean, that was a learning curve. You saw him start to pick it up as the season started to roll. You beat a pretty good Baltimore Ravens team. You know, unfortunately, he just got hurt, you know, but I think he'll definitely keep the ball rolling. And I think he's going to pick up on. He's a solid and he's a tough player. His toughness really doesn't get talked about enough.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. And I think to be honest, Rico, I think he played great. The games he played in. I mean, he wasn't putting up crazy numbers, but you don't need that. As long as we're protecting the football, we're winning games. That's all I asked for.
Just play to the strength.
He did enough for us to win. That's all we needed.
And that's all you needed. That's all you needed. You know, you play to your quarterback strengths, take his weaknesses, build those up, you know, during practice and in film and sessions and all of that. And you got a pretty good quarterback. He just had to learn that, the AFC North is a whole different.
Oh, man.
It's a whole different brand of football from the AFC South.
Oh, for
sure. You can spread the field and throw the ball 500 yards. The AFC North is not going to happen like that.
Nope.
So
many good defense in our division.
Hey, exactly. Like the toughest division in football. And they might be the toughest division again with the Ravens signing Derrick Henry and all the offseason new moves made. It's going to be crazy this year.
Underrated signing, though. Patrick Queen going to Pittsburgh. That's going to be tough.
Yeah, that is.
That's going to be tough.
Damn. Damn. And then I don't know if the Bengals are. I don't know, man. What you think of Cincinnati?
Cincinnati got some issues going on, man. I'm not gonna even lie to you.
Yeah.
T. Higgins and Chase. I think Chase will end up eventually coming back, but T. Higgins is really fighting this new deal situation, man.
Yeah.
And another player that they're not really talking about, who's holding out too, is Trey Hendrickson on defense.
Yeah.
So the Cincinnati's got a lot of key players that are not reporting that they need to kind of fix that situation, or they're gonna be in trouble.
Yeah, I think and that's one of the biggest problems when you tie up all that money into a quarterback. I never agreed with, and I don't know the whole situation in Cincinnati, but it seems like they tied up all that money in the Burrow, and now it just seems like it's just not enough to go around, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's what it's seeming like for sure.
Yeah. But yeah.
Well,
before we get off, man, you got any shout outs or anything you want to say?
I want to shout out my dad, man. I love you. Appreciate you for everything. Looking forward to this Brown season.
I know that's right. Hey, man, I'm really looking forward to football season. We less than 100 days away from kickoff.
Yes, sir.
100 days away from kickoff, man. I'm Rico McGee. This is my man, Cam Crawford, man.
Sir.
It's been a pleasure, man. We'll see you in a minute.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, Rico.
Yep, no problem at all, bro.